Once upon a time, in a small village tucked away in the woods, lived a poor woodcutter and his two children, Hansel and Gretel. Times were tough, and the family struggled to make ends meet. One day, the woodcutter's wife came up with a plan to save themselves from starvation.
She convinced her husband to take the children deep into the forest and abandon them, as they could no longer afford to feed them. Reluctantly, the woodcutter agreed and led Hansel and Gretel into the woods, leaving them to fend for themselves. Hansel, who was clever and resourceful, had overheard his parents' plan and left a trail of breadcrumbs behind them so they could find their way back home. But as they ventured deeper into the forest, they realized the birds had eaten all the breadcrumbs, and they were lost. Hungry and scared, Hansel and Gretel stumbled upon a beautiful house made entirely out of gingerbread and candy. They couldn't believe their luck and began to feast on the sweet treats. Little did they know, the house belonged to a wicked witch who lured children in with her delicious confections. The witch was delighted to have caught the children and locked Hansel in a cage, intending to fatten him up before eating him. Gretel, however, was quick-witted and outsmarted the witch, pushing her into the oven instead. With the witch defeated and the house collapsing around them, Hansel and Gretel escaped and found their way back home, where they were reunited with their overjoyed father. From that day on, they lived happily ever after, with plenty to eat and never having to worry about being abandoned again.